तो आपको कुछ नहीं होगा, 3:30 बजे के करीब हमारे पास जो इंडिया के एमडी है श्री मनीष जी, उन्होंने मुझसे कनेक्ट किया। उन्होंने भी बोला कि थोड़ा टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी, इसमें हमारा जो हमने दोबारा प्रोसेस स्टार्ट किया, तो उसके बाद उन्होंने हमारा एक्टिवेट किया है, उनको हमारे कॉन्टेक्ट के ऊपर कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है। तो कंटेंट का ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है,
Hi Sandesh, am I audible Sandesh?
Yes sir.
How are you?
Hello.
हाँ कसा
चांगला आहे सर. चहा बनवते, या चहा प्यायला.
चहा पी बाबा.
नाही चांगला आहे, मी चहा बनवते, या म्हणलं चहा प्यायला.
नाही लॉकडाऊन मध्ये कसं बोलतोस रे तू?
नाही बिना साखरेच आहे.
ओके ओके गुड गुड. एन्जॉय कर एन्जॉय कर. हाय योगेश.
हा हा.
संदेश.
योगेश.
येस सर. गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
कसं आहेस? आवाज येते का?
आवाज हा तुझा काय आवाज अधून मधून येतो तुझा?
नाही येतोय ना आवाज.
आता येतोय.
ठीक आहे. ओके.
ब्रेक होतोय.
तू आज कर इंट्रोड्यूस तुझ्या बॅचमेटला आज.
हो संदेश करेल ना.
संदेश करेल ना? संदेश
बरोबर
कर मग आज तू इंट्रोड्यूस. ठीक आहे.
हो.
काय आता योगेश म्हातारा झाला ना, त्याला रिटायरमेंट घेतली त्याने.
खरं लेट झालं रिटायरमेंट घ्यायला. लेट झालं ऍक्च्युली. आता खरं बॅचेस फ्रॉम 2000 शुड हॅव टेकन कंट्रोल लॉट मेनी इयर्स बॅक. ऍक्च्युली लेट झालं सगळंच. ऍक्च्युली 2000च्या पासून पुढच्या बॅचेसनी सगळा कंट्रोल असला पाहिजे खरं.
व्हेरी ट्रू.
असोसिएशन म्हणा किंवा फंक्शन्स म्हणा किंवा एमएमएस पण म्हणा. इव्हन एमएम सुद्धा आता खरं ज्युनियर बॅचेसनी घ्यायला पाहिजे खरं. काय शशिकांत?
हो
मंथली आता काय झालं 95 93 झाले की आता 2000च्या कडे जायला पाहिजे.
राईट.
एमएमचा कंट्रोल सुद्धा.
नमस्ते जादवर सर.
नमस्ते. बोलो बॉस. कैसे हो?
बढ़िया. आप कैसे हो?
बस एकदम बढ़िया है.
कहाँ पे हो?
चलो मैं बोला
हाँ
मी कल्याणला राहायला.
कल्याणला आहेत का? ओके.
हा.
बार्शीचे आहेत ना तुम्ही?
मी बार्शीच्या शेजारी येरमाळा गाव माहित आहे का?
येरमाळा माहित आहे ना. पलंगे.
हा तिथे. पलंगे. तर तिथं आमचं गाव आहे रत्नापूर. एक बीड रोड वरती 1 किलोमीटर.
ओके. पलंगे माझा बॅचमेट, म्हणजे त्यांचा मुलगा जो आहे डॉक्टर आता मेडिकल ऑफिसर आहे, तो माझा बॅचमेट आहे. अजिंक्यन.
येस आय नो दॅट. एक वर्ष ज्युनियर होता ना. 2 वर्ष
तुम्हाला ना.
92 बॅच ना.
92 बॅच.
किती? 92.
92.
अच्छा येस राईट. बरोबर. काय चाललंय? तुम्ही आता कुठं हल्ली पुण्याला का राहायला?
हो पुण्याला असतो. तुम्ही पोलीस डिपार्टमेंटला आहेत का?
नाही मी फूड अँड सिव्हिल सप्लाय आहे ना. आता संजय खंदारे आहेत ते डिपार्टमेंट.
त्या डिपार्टमेंट आहेत का?
लिगल मेट्रोलॉजी. लिगल
Okay.
मेट्रोलॉजी.
ओके. संजय माझा फॅमिली फ्रेंडच आहे, म्हणजे त्याचे वडील आणि माझे वडील एकाच संस्थेत होते.
संदेश याला जॉईन झाला का अजून?
शेजारी नाही अजून तो भूषण इज जॉईन. ओके.
आहेच मी ऑनलाईन ऑनलाईन.
भूषण तू यंग दिसतोय रे.
2004 बॅचचा आहे सर. यंगच आहे.
नाही म्हणजे माझ्या याच दिसतोय तो यंग.
हॅलो.
Bhushan, you are looking young like me.
I'm already young. You are also young.
I'm also young, yeah.
म्हातारा आहेस बे.
अबे गिरीश, याला आलाच का लगेच?
संदेश इंट्रोडक्शन काय हरकत नाही. किती लोक झाले आता?
Yeah,
स्टार्ट इंट्रोडक्शन.
Meantime, Sandesh, you can introduce Bhushan, and
Yes.
then let's say Bhushan can take over from there.
So should I start now?
Yeah.
इंट्रोडक्शन कर ना तू.
Okay, sir. Hello everyone. I'm Sandesh Patil, 2004 batch. Bhushan is also my 2004 batch. He's a renowned food consultant, and his talk on Gulf food was very much appreciated all over the world. So I request Bhushan to continue.
Okay. Thank you, Sandesh. May I start now?
Yeah.
Or do we need to wait?
No. You can start.
Okay. Yeah.
You need screen sharing, right?
Yeah. It's hold it. So
Just a minute. I'll give you permission. Yeah. Yes, you can continue.
Okay. Hi, I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sandesh, for a kind introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining this presentation. Today is very important day historically, and of course, we are doing this kind of presentation. This is very second presentation of mine. And we'll be speaking about different issues. Earlier, we spoke on opportunities in the food processing sector, and today we'll specifically target how the food processing industry is doing. And thank you so much, everyone, for your exuberance and kind, profound interest in this particular session. And I assume this is going to be a very interesting session given a thought on food processing industry. We have been doing a lot many things in lockdown as well. As you are aware that food processing industry is one of the essential commodity, not only in India, but across globe. So across globe, the food processing industries, the food processing plants are working. Of course, the capacity has decreased during because of lockdown, but yes, it's really working. So the trends are differing in food processing industry. Yes, the eating patterns, the consumer patterns, the demand pattern, the supply chain pattern, the middleman pattern, what you used to think, There's no middleman now in food processing industries as far as farmers concerned. So these patterns have changed, and this has made a huge impact on food processing industry as a whole. And these particular changes are very important for any kind of industry, we celebrate World Environment Day. And yes, the state of one elephant died. And if you particularly categorically look into this whole scenario, then it has various dimensions. If you come from agriculture background, you will understand how we are stopping or inhibiting the animals to enter from your farm. uh, Maybe I haven't studied entire case, but we make boundaries so that wild animals should not enter in our fields. If you look from the farmer point of view or from farmers point of view, they protect their field in their small scale manner. Their aim is to prevent animal, otherwise they create huge destruction. And yes, why animals are entering in the field? Because they don't have sufficient food in the jungles. And why there is not food? Yes, I profoundly believe that is the government's perhaps responsibility to supply the food to animals in the in the jungle as well. Because this is not the first case that we have seen. We have seen many more cases, similar cases in India as well. I want to in, I could see one more case that happened years back in the national park of Sanjay Gandhi Rashtriya Udyan. And they also, the few wild animals attacked like human beings who were staying there, and they just came over to the human places because they had scarcity of food in that place. And I hope this would stop at some point. And yes, this day, but this particular day is very much revered day in Maharashtra's history, rather in the human history, because it's a coronation day of King Shivaji Maharaj. And yes, he also created various policies to boost the agriculture, to boost the farmers' life. And he's particularly remembered for making kind of uh, growing his cereal production of that particular time during his time. And we all know, I mean, we all are from Sainik School Satara. So some or the other point of life, we have climbed the Sainik, the Ajinkya, and we have studied the history of the Satara. And this is very important. This marks a very important day in today's time as well. Well, I would like to take you back a few years. I mean, I would like to take you back in the history, how it all started. This is a picture of King Ashoka. This is one of the revered things. And why this particular pandemic has changed the history? This is very important. The War of Kalinga is one of the most bloodiest war in the global history. During that time, around 1 lakh people were killed, around 1,50,000 people were displaced. And this number is very huge when you compare with that particular population of during that time. And I was reading, few years back, I was reading a history of that particular war. And every now and then, like during pandemic or during war, the supply and demand of food and medicine increases. And I found out that during that time, the supply of honey was more. Similarly, the supply of cereal was more. And of course, even the demand. And then the particular, I found the one more thing, why grapes, because there was a lot of demand of grapes during that whole war time of Kalinga. and particularly this war had changed the history of the world. And yes, now we can see India as a, India as one of the robust country, and yes, it's because of King Ashoka, and yes, we need to be grateful to him as well. And similarly, many pandemic, many wars have changed history, and this has brought imminent change, or the imperative change in the human lives. Well, I would like to take back to one more similar war. There have been many wars and there have been many pandemics uh, in humankind, but in the World War I, if you go through, there have been lot many innovations that we are continuing, and there have been top innovations that we have seen of sanitary towels. Yes, we have seen that. The sun lamps and the tea bag innovation was a this particular innovation is from the First World War, and still we are continuing this innovation with a great legacy. The wristwatch, the vegetarian sausage, the zips, and of course, the stainless steel is one of the profoundly used metal in entire food processing industry, in entire pharmaceutical industry. So this particular innovation is very touching. The tea bag industry, the sausage industry of vegetarian for the vegetarians, and the stainless steel industry. These are very uh, innovating changes that has brought to the world. I particularly believe that innovation is sorry, the pandemic is the mother of innovation, and some I feel it is right at some point of time. And if you look at the history of uh, the World War II, it has brought many changes as well. It has brought the penicillin. The concept of computers started developing during World War II, and it is very important. The more machineries were developed during this particular pandemic of World War II. People concentrated on ball pen as well. Then the photocopy, what we call Xerox machine. The more important, the innovation of World War II is the coffee, what we call the Nescafe. If you see, like in scientific language, that is known as the freeze-dried coffee. So that was the innovation of World War II as well. The carbonated beverage was also very much innovation of that particular time. And this particular carbonated beverage of that time was considered to be as an energy booster. I mean, not now. It is the trend, eating change, the consumption trends have changed now. For example, vegan change, the vegan industry is also, I mean, if you have heard about vegan industry is also growing. If you look at I mean, if you go back few years back, if you think of it, then you might think that milk was energy booster, but now there have been various trends that are changing. The vegan, we never heard, these people don't eat or drink meat, sorry, milk and milk products. So this is also very big change. Similarly, the carbonated drink was considered to be one of the imperative drink that time, and this has brought many changes in the whole drink industry. Similarly, the canning technology is one of the important, and uh, it's one of the important and innovative change, and it has changed entire food processing industry. Now everything is being canned. All the fruits, or major fruits, major vegetables are being canned, and it is, like it's available across, and across seasons. So this is very uh, important change that we have seen. Even the many processed food technologies started developing during World War II. Yeah, it's very important. Business have a fundamental responsibility, morally, ethically, and legally, to make sure that everyone is safe. I mean, yes, during pandemic time or during wartime, business makes everyone safe, and this is one of the opportunity for business people to enter into the business and to show their, not only the money making thing, but it's a responsibility as well of any kind of business tycoon to show. And I feel particularly food processing industry is one of the business opportunity. Not only, I think it's one of the responsible business opportunity if you're looking forward to enter into the food processing industry. Well, before I begin the whole presentation, I would like to ask you one question. How many of you? How many of you we have? How many of we? What's the number we have here online now? Okay, may I ask you one question? Maybe you can unmute your mics and you may answer, or you may just maybe you can type yes or no into the field there, so I can see that. Can you please type yes or no? How many of you or your family owns a piece of land? May I see? Can I see into your chat, please?
No, I don't. We don't. I don't know.
Okay, I can see many yes. Thank you so
Yes,
much
yes.
for replying me. And I could see many yes. I could see
Yes,
many yes.
yes, I have.
Okay, I can see around 90% people responded by saying yes. So this is really a good number. I guess many of you. Thank you so much for your replying. So that indicates yes, that indicates this session is going to be very interesting for everyone here. That's nice build up. Thank you. So going ahead into the presentation, going ahead into the presentation. So what COVID-19 has given us, a panic buying rather. We all lined up in front of retails, or what you call kirana shops in front of us. Everyone was panicked and everyone bought a lot of cereals, a lot of rice, and a lot of what you call the dals or legumes to consume. And this there was short supply of everything that we bought. There's the supply chain broke down at that the point, and yes, there were few loopholes as well. This has exposed the supply chain as well. And because of that particular time, I'm not saying of this time, I'm not saying of this particular month of June, but if you think about the March or the April, up till the mid of April, there was price rise. If you see the newspapers, you'll find there was a lot of price rise in the entire supply chain as well, entire food supply. So yes, it was this is very important. And at the same time, we have seen there was distress selling as well. The produce piled up and price dropped after few days. uh, well, there was lot many there were a lot many loopholes into the supply chain, and now people from Nasik, or could not sell their produce to Mumbai, or the people from Nagpur could not sell it to other uh, places. Because Nagpur is one of the central point, and it is one of the great agriculture. It is one of the potential agriculture hub. And at the same time, the buses were there wasn't any bus availability or transport availability, or the airport, the airlines were stopped, so it impacted the export business as well. So those who deal in export market, they had to supply their produce into the local market. And the again we observe the price drop as well into the market. Well, we all are from school, sainik school, so this is one of the question. This is very important slide. If you go, how is the market, Josh? So this is one of the work that was done by one of the consultancy analysis. So if you look at the market, Josh, the phenomena, this is particular resilient phenomena we have seen in the market. The if you look from your right to left, then yes, the medical supply and services, that stands to be one of the top into the market, followed by food processing and retail supply. Then the personal and healthcare, everyone is buying sanitizers. And then ICT, then e-commerce, then agriculture, and then so on. the oil supply, then education, financial, manufacturing, the construction, automotive, and what you and everything, that was, we can see a kind of drop, or we may call them, we may term them as a loser, or we may call the winners, the potential winners, as one of the perhaps the needful items that we get into the market, one of the important things, prerequisite matter that we call. So perhaps if you think the medical supply and services, the food processing is one of the important that emerge, as one of the top priority market. If you look at the market jobs that we observe, uh, again, what is current status of the market? That's very important. The agriculture growth rate in India is 4%. Yes, that's we the every now and then agriculture is increasing. And the climate is one of the important factor, because many farmers in India depend on agriculture, sorry, the climate, for their activities. Even now, just few days back, I'm not few days back, just few days back, we had a kind of cyclone, and it made a huge impact on agriculture, and everything just scattered. The fishery scattered, the agriculture scattered, the whole crops scattered. Importantly, the growth rate now that we see might be low now in coming days. At the same time, the food processing growth rate is 1%. That's way less, because uh, we have lots and lots of post-harvesting losses. Yes, that the post-harvesting losses is very important if we can think of the supply chain, and we need to maintain the post-harvesting losses. Yes, we can't say that there could be a 0% post-harvesting losses, but we need to reduce, and it's a challenge into the food processing industry. Well, in order to improve agriculture growth rate, it is need of our to attract more private placement in agriculture sector. And yes, from the government point of view as well, it's very important that the government is aiming to increase the capital investment in agriculture sector from 13 to 30%. So yes, it is very important. uh, it's really going to be very good market, I think. Well, this is very important slide. And this is particular GDP per capita growth rate has been. This is particular how we have a kind of GDP per capita, and that determines the food distribution as well. If you look at the Asia's food capita, the distribution of per capita, the how much we are eating, because every now and then we need to have a kind of scientifically, everyone needs to have 4 meals a day, and we have around, India has around 30% of population who is malnourished, and who is below poverty line, who don't get to eat a quarter of meal. I'm just speaking about quarter of meal, means 30% of people don't have a meal to eat a day. That means we have around breakfast, then lunch, dinner, and any kind of midday meal kind of break, evening tea or something, even that is considered as a meal. So when we think about the distribution, if you compare this particular distribution with other countries, uh, then yes, Asia isn't bad. If you think about, if you compare Asia with other countries like if you compare with Asia with other continents like Africa or Latin of America or Caribbean or Northern America and Europe. So yes, and this distribution is very important from the population point of view, because we Indians are very fortunate, because we have various climatic zones here. We have, like we have deserts and we have cold climates and we have rainy places and we have vast coastal regions. So there is little scarcity of food here in India when you compare India with other uh, countries. But unfortunately, India don't uh, process that food. So that's also a challenge, and perhaps that's one of the opportunity as well that we are going to see in this presentation. Well, again, this is very important slide. This is how the concentration is increasing from rural India, or the rural world, to the urban world. The more the if you can see India being here in pink color, the migration of people is consistently increasing from the rural part of the world towards the urban part. So you'll find more concentration towards the metropolitan cities. For example, like if you analyze this whole graph, then you'll find major migration is happening from is in Africa and Asia and parts of Latin America. So this is very important from the urbanization point of view. But nowadays, because of COVID, now people have again gone back. They have again, they because they don't have any options to be in city, and many people have migrated towards their own, their villages. And yes, this is very important from the socio-economic point of view as well, because this might enhance the socio-economic status of the villages. But at some point of time, they will turn back. They'll turn back towards the cities, or the metropolitan cities. For example, if you think about the Ajinkyans population, we have, like we have kind of various many Ajinkyans from different cities. But if you think of their their concentration of Ajinkyans, as far as my knowledge, I have around 25% of my batchmates in the Pune city, and I guess similar with other batches as well. This is again a cumulative per capita, how where India ranks per capita and cumulative GDP, and that's very low when you compare with China, Brazil, Russia, or many other countries. So this is very important. So yes, there is a lot of per capita GDP we need to enhance. Again, the one more important question: how many of you think you should have your own food processing unit? Please enter in yes or no into your the inbox, writing box. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that's a huge number. That means everyone is looking forward to establish their food processing unit, and this is really remarkable and imperative figure for me. And this is again, the trends of food processing establishment is increasing naturally in India, because in India we have everyone, rather 60% of population depend on agriculture and allied activities. That means farmers, the laborers, the wholesalers, the dealers, the traders, the marketeers, even the retailing chains, everyone. Yes, someone Sunday said Atmanirbhar. Yes, now the 60% of population is tending to become a kind of Atmanirbhar, and everyone wants to own. Rather, many, I have been doing many presentations, so major population wants to own a small food processing unit, or major even the big now even the bigger food processing units are coming in India. So it's very important how the trend is shifting to food processing industry. Uh, well, before we get into the fold, how the food processing industry is doing and how their priorities. We need to learn what are post harvesting losses, because if you go to any APMC market or any sabzi mandi or bhaji mandi of your locality, the first thing at the entrance here you'll see, maybe it's Pune or Mumbai or Satara or Kolhapur or any place you name it, even even the drought affected area that we call Marathwada. At the entrance you will see heaps and heaps of post uh, the post harvesting the heaps of fruits and vegetables that we see. And then that's why critical, that means that the critical, that there is high critical situation in India, or if we say Maharashtra as well. But if you look at the Maharashtra, then Maharashtra is one of the is among top food processing industries in India. The Karnataka, then Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. These are few top food processing industries in India. The Maharashtra stands. The Maharashtra is number one in top food processing industries. The number of food processing industries are more in the state of Maharashtra. But from the investment point of view, from the capital point of view, the Karnataka, yes, thank you for reminding. This session is like we will take. I'm taking another session as well. So the Karnataka ranks top into from the investment point of view. The Karnataka also ranks number one. So yes, we will now we'll see how and what are the challenges for the supply chain here. Kindly rejoin everyone. I mean, if this session is over, please rejoin again. We have again one more session. So if this session is over, please rejoin. So if you look at the supply chain here in India, yes, there are a lot many opportunities in supply chain as well. If you analyze the whole supply chain here in India, you will find that 90% of supply chain is unorganized. That means what farmers are producing in their produce, 98% have chances that they might go into the dustbins. They might, I'm saying, yes, they reach to the people. But for example, you might start your truck with, tomato towards any kind of APMC market, but, like it might have ups and downs and jumps, and it might not reach to its end consumers. So we have a lot many startup opportunities into the supply chain. So yes, we definitely need to manage, and it's very important to note that farmers' share in consumers' pie is just 25 to 30%, and farmer has to buy in the cost in retail and sell that the auction in unknown prices, and that's why there are a lot many problems of farmer suicide as well, and the rate of farmer suicide has been consistently increasing in Maharashtra. That means I mean, it is really critical situation. I mean, it's really shameful. At one point, we call ourselves as that we are one of the modest and one of the financially growing state. And on the other hand, if you observe the data, I mean, I have one more uh, one more YouTube session. I mean, on the farmers and how they are attached to the food processing industry. At the same time, you'll find that the farmer society is more in the state of Maharashtra. That is also one of the challenges that food processing only could uh, address. Yes, the supply chain problems are perpetual. I mean, maybe COVID is one of the reason, that because the supply chain is showing the light, but the COVID is not only the reason. Beyond COVID, the supply chain was weaker. Let's see how the supply chain uh, could definitely change. Let's see. Well, this is again a data from FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, and there is a huge loss in dairy supply chain. it's kind of global, but if you particularly go into the data of the industry Asia, then you will find that how South and Southeast Asia are doing. Then yes, there are major losses in the distribution. I mean, there are more than around 40% losses into the distribution supply chain. For example, you again might see a kind of the advertisement of one of the progressive milk corporation, that is Amul. You will find that the people, the ladies or men go door to door to collect the milk, and they collect the milk into kind of tanker, and then again supply to dairy, and dairy again supplies to the dairy industries, and that's how we have the model here in India. And yes, there could be lot many opportunities in this kind of chain as well, if the supply chain is very well being maintained. So can we stop and start again, because the time has I could see a clock.